Let's get physical. It's Jordan here, back again with this week's update and all the physical releases coming to the Switch. We are in the first full week of October, 4th until the 8th, Monday to Friday, retail, low print, imports, and our community spotlight is back. And I do apologize for my extra awful nasally voice this week. I have a little bit of the sniffle, so yeah, I apologize. But let's jump in and see what we've got this week. Doki Doki Literature Club Plus is getting sent out this week. I know a lot of people pre-ordered this one already. While on the surface it appears to be a standard, generic high school romance visual novel, it quickly dives headfirst into a weird psychological horror experience. It always was a fantastic story, and now this Plus version includes even more content. It is one of the most highly rated games of its type, and the Western version appears to come with some nice little goodies like a sticker sheet, character standees, and even a downloadable soundtrack. This is pretty sweet, and our executive producers agree because Michael Del Polito, Thorn Metal Luna, and Cartoon Soren, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Lego Marvel Superheroes. Do I have deja vu right now? Please, someone tell me, because this is an old game, right? It's been out on the Switch before? Yes? No? I feel like I'm having a bit of an existential crisis right now. Like, is the world actually real, or is there a glitch in the computer that we're all simulated in? Because Lego Marvel Superheroes is releasing on the Switch this week. What's going on? This can't be for the first time, right? Can it? I don't know. What's going on? Road 96 is a narrative-driven road trip adventure game, and yes, that was 100% intended. Here you take control of 7 individuals who try to escape a totalitarian regime. Politics, please. I guess it's hard to fully articulate how the game plays without playing it yourself, but it's one of those choices matter game where, depending on what you say, will offer a different outcome and potentially branching paths. I heard it's not exactly full on, mostly superficial differences, but it is a great experience nonetheless. This is available at retail, and there's a French collector's edition at Pix and Love Editions. And our executive producers Brent McLean and Vilas have chosen this as their pick of the week. Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl is a wannabe Smash Bros game starring characters from well-loved kids' cartoons, featuring characters from Avatar, Hey Arnold, Rugrats, and SpongeBob, amongst others. A lot of people who spent a lot of time watching TV back in the day are looking forward to this. You do have to be careful though. This is published by Game Mill, which is hardly known for quality licensed tie-ins. They did the commendable but quite soulless Nickelodeon Kart Racers 1 and 2, if you remember those. Decent games, just void of any personality, so maybe wait on this one, see what the reviews say about it. Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania is a HD remaster of an amalgamation of the first 3 Super Monkey Ball games, basically what we were all asking for instead of Banana Blitz, which is pretty much what zero people asked for. This is a fair whack of content overall if you think about it. It features slightly rebalanced levels, but still has the original versions available if you fancy taking on some of the more brutal stages in their original form. 12 multiplayer party games. I think we're all looking forward to some Monkey Target, plus some bonus modes new to this release, and 4-player local co-op too. That sounds great. This could be a really amazing release if they can walk the way they are currently talking. So I heard that this really small publisher called Noontondoi or something have a game coming out this week in a really obscure series. You probably never heard of it. The game's called Metroid FRIGGIN Dread. This is it, guys. The long-lost Metroid game brought back from the dead into modern day. Another side-scrolling Metroid release, not quite the same hype level as maybe a Prime 4 is gonna be, but damn, it is close. It's looking sweet as with silky smooth gameplay, a terrifying stalker system, and no doubt great level design and exploration. I can't wait to see what the critics think of this one, and no doubt I'm going to see this a heck of a lot in the community spotlight over the coming weeks. And no, I ain't making a dread pun like everyone else, because I hate puns and I'm just dreadful at them. And our executive producers God of Resin, Jonathan Rumor, Boombox, Punky Dooster, Dane Wilkinson, Parsnip Coffee, and JCross7776, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Shout out to Street Outlaws 2 and Knockout Home Fitness with a belated European release this week. Our executive producer Robotech wants to get in shape like myself, so Knockout Home Fitness is his pick of the week. And Hercule Poirot, the first cases releasing in North America this week. This released in Europe last week. Looks like a half-decent detective game if you're into Agatha Christie stuff, and Alyssa is into it since it's her pick of the week. So I was browsing Target's website in North America and came across a pre-order for Cabela's The Hunt and Bass Pro Shops The Strike combo pack, which is a bit of a mouthful. I just copy and pasted that, which I thought was so wonderfully absurd, I thought I would mention it to you. This is for manly men everywhere, if you're in North America and can't be asked to go hunting yourself. Hypnospace Outlaw should be available in North America this week. This is as weird as the name implies. Am I the only one who pictures Hypno in a cowboy hat? I think that would probably be a better game, but this is pretty good too. If you want something so completely weird and left field, basically you use an old 90s style computer and browse the internet in a surreal alternative timeline, fighting off viruses and just doing stuff. Weird, funny, great alternative stuff. It's a good take on the exploration genre, I gotta say. Got a lot going for it. Retail should be available this week in North America. Alright, the Low Prince Butcher is up for pre-order right now at Red Art Games. I'm sure you all know about that, considering you all watched last Tuesday's episode. Yes? What do you mean you didn't? Anyways, Butcher was the brand new reveal, a fantastic, brutal action run-and-gun that hardcore gamers will surely relish. And no, I'm not talking about the condiment, because that would definitely ruin your Switch. There are 2,900 copies available, and remember, we had a special discount code, but that's running out super soon. You only have like 1 or 2 days left at the very most to get 20% off with Red Watch 20. That's until the stroke of midnight for the 7th in France. After that, you can still get 10% with S-Watch 10. Butcher, a fun, hardcore action game. The cover art is exceptionally badass too. Super Rare Games announced their latest Switch physical release, Metal Unit. This is going on sale on Thursday with just 4,000 units available, and it looks like a pretty decent game, to be fair. Side-scrolling action with a dash of roguelike in it, and a surprising story focus. Reviews seem to be mostly positive, so it's all good. I'm quite into this, although I did see the game has a development roadmap, which means the developers aren't quite finished making stuff for it yet, so I don't know why Super Rare are doing it now. Maybe they could have waited until, it's like fully complete. That would have been nice. But it's a minor complaint, I suppose. Be there on Thursday. I may be, unless it's sold out by the time I wake up. Wild Guns Reloaded is getting a super surprising release from Strictly Limited Games. Surprising since this has been released in North America and Asia for literally years. It was one of the first games I bought when I started collecting. I had about 10 back then, and now I have like 300. That's how long ago it released elsewhere. So I'm not entirely seeing the point, since I think collectors who wanted it to begin with now have it. Either way, 2,000 standard editions and 1,500 collector's editions, which nets you all sorts of stuff, including a soundtrack CD, baby. Asdivine Collection is going up for pre-order at limited run on October 5th as a distribution title. Here you get 4 budgeted Kemco RPGs together on one cartridge for $50. Asdivine Hearts, Hearts 2, Dios, and Menace. Better than being sold individually, which they've done for the PlayStation 4. So yeah, one of these is already available on one of the Asian collections, some of you may have, but 3 of them are not. I kind of like the cover art as well. Props to that. That's how to do a proper collection cover art limited run. Although I did notice one thing, this is not all the Asdivine Hearts games. A new one came out digitally last week called Asdivine Saga, and there's a couple more too, so I'm not sure why they didn't include those. Maybe waiting for a volume 2, maybe. Axiom Verge 1 and 2 is currently up for pre-order. Yes, in rather confusing fashion at Limited Run Games. As the same numbered release, you can either buy Axiom Verge 2 as a separate release, or you can get Axiom Verge 1 and 2 together on one cartridge. A nice touch, I suppose, for $15 extra, maybe, but they're definitely not the same releases, guys. That's not how catalogs tend to work. They're most definitely different. I'm pretty sure in your database, you don't have them listed as the same release. Anyways, it seems they've kept the horrendous artwork as detailed previously, but there is a reversible cover, and you'll have a 50-50 chance of getting a half-decent cover or a absolutely atrocious one. So obviously, you're going to want to buy 2. It's a clever tactic by Limited Run Games. People are going to buy 2 because they don't want the horrendous one. Nobody wants the horrendous one. It's a new business model. And of course, it wouldn't be limited run without a seemingly unlimited amount of merchandise to sell alongside it. I mean, for just $50 50 of your finest dollars, you can get 2 reversible maps, presumably made in the finest cashmere silk, I would guess, and a nice 90-page strategy guide for $30, because strategy guides have always been known for being almost the same price as the game, yes? Don't ask questions. Despite all the extra merch, surprisingly, you can't just buy the Steambot because that's exclusive to the Collector's Edition. And of course, they each have their separate Collector's Editions. Axiom Verge 2 has a Collector's Edition, and Axiom Verge 1 and 2 does too. So rest in peace, Steambot collectors. That's $120 minimum. Alright, let's head into the imports. Remember guys, if anything takes your fancy and you'd like to import it for yourself, then consider using the links below in the description and the pinned comment. If you use those links, it also massively helps support the series and myself ever so much. You guys are wonderful and I thank you ever so much from the bottom of my heart. And in return for clicking our links, you can also get a very nice 5% off any physical item from PlayAsia if you use the coupon code SwitchWatchTV while checking out. That's all one word, SwitchWatchTV, while checking out for 5% off any physical item from PlayAsia if you use our links. No More Heroes 1 and 2 is the big daddy import this week, there is no doubt about that, especially for those living in countries other than America. Yes, this is the first 2 No More Hero games together on one cartridge with English. 2 weird, wacky action games from Suda51. The third and supposed final installment just recently came out, so this is a fine way to add to your collection if you didn't buy the separate releases from Limited Run or the recent Best Buy releases. But even so, depending on your situation, it may end up being the most economically friendly option still. So yeah, this is a big import for a certain amount of people. It's high on my list, that is for sure. And our executive producer Jack Severus is sticking to his guns, and it's his pick of the week again. Lyrica 1 and 2 is a really interesting Nintendo Switch import exclusive release. This is 2 games in one with English, and they are both fascinating rhythm games. Lyrica 1 has been out digitally on the Switch for a while, but the sequel is new and should be out digitally soon, or included in this physical package. Featuring a wide variety of musical styles set within an ancient Chinese theme, at least for the first game. The sequel looks to be like a bit more modernized somewhat, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm a big fan of rhythm games. I believe these games are only available to be played in handheld mode due to the touchscreen requirement, so keep that in mind. I do love the fact that the notes you play are linked to the lyrics. I guess that's why it's called Lyrica. I literally just got that now. I don't know if I'm happy or disappointed with myself. And they're Chinese characters, so it's kind of like playing karaoke with your fingers, which is great news for people close by who have ears, plus it can help me learn the Chinese characters better. Yay for me. There's a standard edition as well as a collector's edition, which includes a double CD with almost 30 tracks and 2 hours worth of music, which is music to my ears. It also has a downloadable art book. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Plus Expansion Pass is releasing in Japan this week. Yes, this is the base Breath of the Wild game with the expansion pack, supposedly, according to translations on Nintendo's website and PlayAsia themselves, supposedly all on the cartridge, no download code or anything. So this is a great one for those who care about having the most preserved edition in their collection. There's English on this, so it may be worth one importing, or maybe you want to wait to see if the West gets similar treatment, which isn't out of the question, but I would think unlikely personally. And a shout out to YouTube member Switchback for going back and forth with me on this release, talking about it and bringing it to my attention better. Splatoon 2 and Octo expansion is getting the exact same kind of treatment, except unlike Zelda, the Japanese Splatoon 2 don't have English. At least it did not when it originally released. I remember because it gave me a headache when I wanted to buy a copy. I don't know if that's changed, but yeah, best avoid this one. Astria Ascending is releasing in Japan this week, at least I think so, unless it's been delayed like the Western release. Anyways, this is a JRPG. It looks kind of beautiful, but it's apparently mediocre from a couple of reviews I randomly came across. The Western physical is due November 2nd last time I saw, but this Japanese version has English, and there's even a little collector's edition if you fancy that, which comes with an art book, soundtrack, and map, which may actually be worth an import, to be honest. I can't resist the soundtrack. I'll pop links below in case anybody wants it. And a quick mention to Shuuen no Virche ErroR Salvation. There's an error on my talking here right now. A visual novel thingy-mabob that's releasing physically this week, but there's no English as far as I'm aware. Also, so it's not releasing this week, but I promised I would update you on any information regarding Project Zero or Fatal Frame, the new one that's coming physically in Asian regions. And there's been a massive update. It's quite important. It's some good news, mostly bad news, so yeah, bear with me. Firstly, and more nicely, the price has been slashed down, especially for the Asian version, which is now $30 less than it was originally put up for. But I'm afraid there is some unfortunate news because English will now be available on all of them, all the versions, Japan, Hong Kong, and Southeast Asia, but only as a download update. Yes, there is no English on the cartridge for any of the Fatal Frame releases. And even worse, that update will be much later than the worldwide release. So the game is releasing on October 28th, but the English patch for the physical versions will arrive a month later on November 30th for all editions. And because of that, the Southeast Asian physical has been specifically delayed to that date too in order to accommodate. Now, this is not the end of the world. You'll still have the game physically with English eventually, but it's not ideal, is it? It's an unfortunate situation. So make sure you keep that in mind before you order, or perhaps maybe you want to cancel your order, or maybe change to a different version since they'll all have English eventually and they come out at different dates. But the Japanese versions should be sent out the earliest and we'll have English a month later. So yeah, it is up to you. I hope I've helped clear that up a little bit. I've put links below to all versions so you can assess which one is best for you in terms of price or time frame. Yes, because it's Fatal. Oh, anyway. Alright, the Community Spotlight. Now this month I'm giving away a double helping of The Wanderer and Super Mash Collector's Edition. Yep, both together. Thanks to Kosen for providing them to give away to you guys. Remember, their Lyrica 1 and 2 double pack is releasing this week. Go have a look at it. Our executive producer Brent McLean sent in this photo of Mechanarium from Super Rare alongside some top soundtracks to games on the Switch or coming to the Switch. Love that Narita Boy vinyl. Brian D. Mills picked up these games. Nice to see some limited run games being sent out, including that rather sort of lofty Corpse Killer. I have to admit I was somewhat morbidly interested in that one myself. Bryson Caldwell got in these games. The big chunky House of Fata Morgana looking rather beautiful, makes everything look so tiny. Executive producer Cartoon Soren wanted to make me puke in my shoes with this European exclusive title, YouTuber's Life OMG. I hope you're all looking forward to the sequel. Champ Dancer got in this haul from Play Asia. Thanks for using our links to support us. I always forget how much of a chunky chonga that La Mulana collection is. Beastly. Also, No More Heroes Trilogy Collection. Nice one. Choco Loco James got in the latest Wario game. For some reason, the Chinese writing makes it look even more crazy. Looks like it came with some bonus goodies as well. Always nice. Derek Jenkins, thanks for using our links and codes to pick up the mythical Seabed. Yes, it's actually a thing. It exists. It's here in the flesh and blood. Well, paper and plastic. Sadly, the collector's edition is all sold out, but they do have a standard edition left, so don't miss it. It's free shipping on the item. Yes, that's how long ago it was. Geese Nuts picked up some lovely RPGs. We got murdered for our review on Nexamon, which was fair enough. Almost everyone enjoys this Pokemon wannabe. I wonder if the original game will get a physical. Executive producer God of Resin picked up these games, including the European version of Little Nightmares. Remember, North America never actually got that physically. Jumble Skull picked up this bunch of games, some quality RPGs. I still need to pick up Bravely Default 2. I think it's a game that I could really love, but although I say that about most JRPGs. Katie Pajamas is almost at 900 physical Switch games, which is utterly insane and well done. That is commitment to the cause. They bolstered their number with this bunch of quality import titles. While they're not all essential, there's not a single one that I would not add to my collection. By the way, check out my Metallic Child review. It is a pretty awesome game. Kevin got in this bunch of games, although I'm only staring at that beautiful Final Fantasy VII. I'm always surprised at how many people still get Saturday morning RPG. I still see it regularly. It's one of their first Switch releases, but remains popular with collectors. Surprisingly, not too expensive. Lakesha picked up these titles. Thanks for using our links if you did, I'm assuming so. Some beautiful cover arts, you definitely got taste. I love the Asian physical of Witch Spring 3 and the Hong Kong version of Romancing Saga 3, just so lovely. And by the way, PlayAsia do have a batch of Nurse Love Obsession if you missed it from limited run. Decent enough price too. I'll pop a link below if you fancy that. Marcio Quintinero, thanks for the support by using our links, picking up some absolute quality RPGs, some of them the best imports of this year. It's going to be a mega tough one, me ranking them at the end of the year, that's for sure. You should just get them all. By the way, the English cover of Empire of Angels is sold out, but they do have some Chinese covers, which still plays in English, by the way. I'll pop a link down below if you fancy that too. Mirin, our Japanese gems and visual novel aficionado, showed off all his physical imports of the year, and yes, they definitely have a certain theme to them. We are now deciding what the next Japanese gem should be. I'm thinking ESP. How about you? Needless Dragon wanted to show off the D. Wait a minute. Apparently there's lots of action when the D is involved. Okay, moving on. Executive producer Robotech got in these releases some strictly limited titles, plus I really do enjoy that odd world artwork, really top-notch collection art. Executive producer Thorn Metaluna, some exceptional looking games, the first press games with the golden gilding look snazzy as always, they're almost a bit too classy at times. They sent in this photo of some recent releases in Japan. Check out my cotton review, please. And I wanted to review Melty Blood, but the publisher said, no way, Jose. Which is fair enough, at least they're honest and didn't BS me. But yeah, this game might be a hard one to get. The physical on PlayAsia sold out already, and Vey said he had trouble finding it in Japan. He lives there. Could be a rare import exclusive with English, who knows? Visipon picked up Skyward Sword, which is something I definitely need to do. It comes with a nice Steam box in Europe, in certain places anyway. Amazing how Nintendo can keep the price the same with the Steam box, but other publishers claim it's super expensive, so I don't know. Executive producer Z sent in this photo of some recent pickups. What a wonderful haul it is. I like the PM Studios double pack. This was sold at an event and then leftovers were sold on their site in very minimal quantities. So it's going to be a bit of a unique piece. I could have warned you, but it was announced and sold out between episodes. I hate it when that happens. Alright guys, let's have a roundup. We've got Chew It, Wes Y2K, No Face, Westy 90, Panzer Thief 0, Yvonne, Evil McLeod, Joshua Brown, Kraken, Michael the Vita Guy, Weak for Waifus, Art Phoenix Asordis, Ashura G, Brave Spartan, Kraid, YZ, Riz, West Country Blue, Merciless Switch Collector. Alright, please send me your pictures on Twitter over at SoWhatAboutGame. You can DM me or tag me in a post and use the hashtag Let's Get Physical. We have an email address, SwitchWatchSpotlight@gmail.com. Plus we have a Discord where you can submit your pictures there in the submissions section. Please just send me one picture per week. It helps me out. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of New Physicals. As you can hear, my nose is getting extra nasally when we got to the community spotlight. Thanks to our executive producers, Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Boombox, Brent McLean, Jonathan Rumor, Santa Tartaruga, Alexander Cato, J Cross 7776, Elissa, Punky Dooster, Michael Del Polito, Cartoon Soren, Jack Severus, Vilos, Robotech, Z, Raven Knight, Thorn Metal Luna, and Parsnip Coffee. Thank you for your amazing support. Plus you, yes of course, you watching right now. If you watched all the way through, give me a fist bump in the comments and I'll give you one back, because you're a legend and you help us grow. Thank you ever so much. Alright, check out some of our other stuff, our cotton review, bargains, and yeah, that's it. Okay, have a good one guys.